Welcome to episode 2 of the Silver Lining Herbs podcast. My name is Chance Shutnick, Senior Operations Manager here at Silver Lining, and joining me is Ashley Carter, Nutritional Advisor. Welcome to episode 2.
I'm very excited about this one.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too because we're talking about a continuation of what we covered in the first episode of just typical common causes of lameness to horses in the winter. And today we're talking about thrush, stone bruises, and abscesses. And this is something that you're talking to clients on a consistent basis about. So what are the big concerns when we're specifically talking about thrush?
Especially this year, we've had a really wet winter up here in the Pacific Northwest. I've heard of it, other places too, but we've just gotten so much rain and days of rain that everybody's horses are just standing in moisture all day long. And so thrush has been a big topic for us this year.
The perfect breeding ground for fungus and bacterial
gross
infections,
yes.
Right? Absolutely. So let's dive into what thrush exactly is. What is it and how can somebody, recognize that's even happening?
So when you think about thrush, just an infection, right? So bacteria and fungal, which thrive in wet environments, specifically a fungus, because that's where it can start, is in that wet environment. And then for our horses continue to stand in that wet environment, all it does is feed that fungus and bacteria. And
there's different issues that can happen inside the foot that's causing that to form even more so. So I think about horses that don't get their frog trimmed out enough, so it's not able to clean the foot out as much. Also especially like navicular horses, they're a lot more prone to thrush too, just because they're not moving their foot functionally as well as they should. So instead of landing on their heel like they should to help clean out that frog, but they're actually landing like midfoot and turning over, so it's just not cleaning out as much. And then of course pads can cause a huge issue too.
Yeah, because we think about, especially in a navicular horse, we want them to be more comfortable, so we put that pad on there. But if there's moisture inside that and in between when we're wrapping it up to keep it on there, that's just a crazy environment for that fungus to grow.
Yeah. And then, traditionally we're always thinking about, cleaning out that hoof better, but obviously, or I don't know if it's obvious, but for me personally, I'm not doing that every single day. So that'd be the ideal situation. But, it'd be nice to be in the perfect dry climate and have these beautiful stalls and things like that. But that's not always practical for everybody either. What else can we do to just help these horses to overcome something like this thrush that's the bacterial and the fungal infection going on in there?
Regular trims is important because I know winter comes along and I stretch those out a little bit more than usual, but just making sure that if there is an area that's affected or that we're worried about, getting rid of that. So making sure our farriers are doing a good job of trimming that tissue off of our horses. Even something as simple as like putting straw out where they can have a dry place to stand. If they're anything like my horses, they probably won't stand there anyways. They'll choose to stand in the wet.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh. I think about that with my own horses all the time because they're like standing in the muddy corral. I'm like, dude, you have, acres of pasture out there. You can go out there.
Nope, every time I look out, that's where they're at.
That's where they're at. Yeah. No. Or it's like that horse that's, it's in a blizzard, and they have this perfect shelter that they can get inside of. And then they're, standing in the middle of it with their butts turned to it. So.
And everyone's like, oh, it's animal abuse. And it's like, no, they're doing that to themselves.
Yeah, exactly. So sometimes horses don't want to help themselves. So
Exactly.
We've got to help them out.
For sure.
And Silver Lining offers a great protocol to help these horses out. And go through the protocol. What do we recommend for thrush?
INFX, so any kind of infection, viral, fungal, or bacterial, INFX takes care of from the inside out, which is perfect for this situation. Feet and bone is great to help promote that hoof growth, to get rid of that bad tissue that's in there. Probiotic is great because when you think about infection, compromised immune system, and so we want to make sure that healthy bacteria and healthy pH level in the gut is there to help our horses stay healthy. And Equisalve topically, there's lots of antibacterial essential oils in Equisalve, which is cool.
Yeah, Equisalve is one of those products that I feel like doesn't get the recognition it deserves.
Very underrated.
There's a blend of essential oils inside of Equisalve called Thieves, and Thieves has a cool story behind it because it got its name. It received its name from the Middle Ages when the Black Plague was going around, and so thieves, robbers, would actually dump this blend of essential oils on a rag and put it over their mouth so they can go rob houses and not get the plague, right? So we've used those different oils in that Equisalve for many years. They're great antimicrobial herbs in there to help eliminate that. So that's something that you can easily do and just put it on the infected part of the hoof and help get rid of that bacteria there.
Absolutely. Environment change too is something we always talk about, giving them the best environment. But the cool thing about what we're doing is that even if they're not able to create like ideal environment, which I don't think any horse owner is in any scenario, you know, the Equisalve topically with everything we're doing from the inside out is really like a well-rounded protocol.
100%. So you're talking about the ion effects. So we're talking about a topical infection, but you're talking about an internal product there. Walk us through that logic.
So when we think about healing the body, what the herbs do is heal the body from the inside out. So we can only be as healthy on the outside as we are on the inside. So really the important thing is healing the body from the inside out. So if we can make sure that they're getting good nutrition, like feed program is really important. There's Goldenseal in the INFX, which is a great antibacterial herb to get rid of that from the inside out.
Yep. The other one that I really love inside there is Myrrh. Myrrh is an amazing herb. It does such a good job to fight different types of infections. And like on the last episode, you were talking about herbs are the purest forms of vitamins and minerals, the easiest to assimilate at the cellular level, which they absolutely are. But on top of that, they create lots of functional properties to it too. So not only are you getting all the vitamins and minerals in there, but you're also getting that functionality of it. So like if you do some research on Myrrh, you'll see that it actually improves skin health. It helps with oxidative stress. So, and then obviously it helps with infection too. So all these different other things come from it. And all too often we hear about like, hey, I was using this product for, in this situation, Thrush, but my horse's eyes are brighter and his coat looks better. Like that happens all the time.
Yeah, because, and when you're talking about easiest assimilated at the cellular level, what that means is that our body's able to absorb those nutrients like it absorbs nutrients out of food. So instead of like when you think about taking like a vitamin D from the store, right, we have to take such a high dose because our body's only able to absorb a certain amount of it because it recognizes it as like a foreign substance. Whereas when it comes from an herb, the body says like, oh, I get nutrients from this, like I get it from food. So it's able to absorb anywhere from 80 to 90% of that like specific vitamin and mineral that's in the herb.
Huge advantage.
Yeah. So if you think about all of the vitamins and minerals that are in each herb, and there's 8 to 12 in all of our blends, so they're getting all of those vitamins and minerals. So of course their horses are going to be healthier looking on the outside, right? Their skin and coat's going to be better. Their mane and tail's going to grow better. They're going to have brighter eyes. They're going to have more energy. Because you think about when we take care of our bodies, those are the things that we feel too. Absolutely.
No, 100%. So with Thrush, we're talking about ion effects, immune support, the Equisalve. Those are all really good elements to help out with that. The other topic that we really wanted to talk about then as well is stone bruises. So this is something that happens more commonly in the winter months just because the ground's frozen. It's not as forgiving. It can happen other times of the month, other times of the year. And I had this one situation happen to me where we were bringing cattle up on the return alley when we were roping, and I had a friend that was riding his horse, and there was this one rock the size of a walnut in the return alley, and you could just see in slow motion that horse step on that rock and pick his leg up, and it was bruised from it and lame. And so, you know, those types of situations, but where the ground is not forgiving like it is now, and more horses have their shoes off, and you know, there's different horses that have thin soles or flat feet that are more susceptible to this, can definitely be a bigger issue right now, especially if they're like standing in the mud and they're in all that soft ground, and then it freezes at night and then it's hard. So stone bruises can definitely be a big issue right now.
Absolutely. And so when we talk about stone bruises, the two products we're going to talk about a lot is feet and bone. So the integrity of that foot to make sure it's strong and healthy, so that if something like that does happen, it's, more of like, oh, I stepped on a rock, not I got a bruise. And then inflate. If a stone bruise is present, inflate is our natural anti-inflammatory, natural pain reliever, which is great because when we're talking about like NSAIDs that we give our horses a lot, typically in those scenarios, we can only do so much of that for so long before it starts to destroy other areas of our horses. So having something natural that they can have as often as they need it and as much as they need is really beneficial.
Absolutely. As you were just talking about walking across like rocks and what I was just sharing, I was thinking about I might need some feet and bone support because I'm such a pansy, tender-footed. Well, I walking across the driveway, but it's so important to have that integrity there. And the thing about feet and bone support, it's increasing the amount of blood flow, the amount of circulation in the hoof, so that way it can generate better hoof, a better, thicker sole, things like that. So it's definitely beneficial in those areas. Specifically, like Boneset and Butcher's Broom do a really good job of doing that. And then obviously there's pain and there's inflammation. There's a hematoma with the bruise there. So the inflammate works so well for those types of situations. So what are you seeing like treatment wise, time frame to help these horses out so they're over their lameness?
It really depends on severity of situation. So something we talk about a lot is we want to be as aggressive as the situation is. So is this something that your horse has been dealing with for months and hasn't been able to get over, or did this happen yesterday and we're really getting ahead of it? So, and each horse is so different. They're no different than people, right? Like they all handle pain differently. They all get injured differently. So no two cases are the same. So we want to treat each individual horse in its scenario as an individual that it is. So the best thing to do is call us or send us a message on Facebook or however you can get a hold of us so we can help and give you advice on time frame for each specific scenario. You're really going to start to see improvements in 7 to 10 days, which is great. If it's something more severe, 30 to 45 days till we start to see those improvements. But again, if this is something that's been ongoing for the last 6-9 months, like we're going to see a little bit longer time frame than that, but it can all depend.
Yeah, if your horse has pancake feet and 3 millimeter thin soles, like that's not going to be something that's 30 days, right? That's going to take more time, and it's a piece of the puzzle too. So like, it's environment, it's diet, it's supplementation, it's farrier, it's all those different things, and that's why I think what you said right there is like give you guys a call and talk to you through that so you can understand that, because it seems like some industries like say like, hey, it's only this, hey, it's only that. And we really know that it's a big picture that has to all be inclusive. And, I am going to say that you can't trump nutrition because you can't. You literally are what you eat. So if you're not putting good hay, grain, whole foods, like our herbal products that we have, you're not going to have the health that you can actually achieve. But there are definitely other modalities that need to be considered to make sure that you have as healthy of a horse as you possibly can.
Yeah, and something I talk a lot about with my clients is feed program, because like you said, you are what you eat. And so something that we really recommend avoiding is sweet feeds. So anything that has processed sugars, molasses, or anything that's inflammatory too, like corns or starches, those are feeding bad bacteria and they're feeding inflammation. So that stone bruise is inflamed. And if we're feeding our horse sweet feed every day, all that's doing is sending inflammation right to that stone bruise. So we're fighting an uphill battle there. So we really recommend staying away from those. Whole foods is great, right? Oats are great, whole, rolled, steamed, things like that. Alfalfa cubes, grass cubes, anything like that is a great option. 100%.
And then you're talking about, the inflammation side of things, but also when we're talking about thrush or we're talking about abscess, actual infection, that's just going to feed that infection there.
That bacteria,
and it's just going to take longer to heal and put more stress on the horse and not be a good situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So hoof abscesses. So a stone bruise can become a hoof abscess, right? So, but there's other things that can cause abscesses too. So the thing that I think about with hoof abscesses, this is like when my horse is like suddenly lame, have no idea what happened, I can't figure it out, like he's not cut anywhere, not swollen anywhere. So a lot of times the way to understand that your horse has a hoof abscess is a lot of times like have a little fever in the hoof or like a little digital pulse. That's a good way to understand that. So what do you do in that situation?
Again, INFX, because what an abscess is just a pocket of infection waiting to burst. And so it festers in there and obviously causes uncomfortableness for our animals. So INFX, any kind of infection, viral, fungal, bacterial. The INFX, feet and bone is great because we can grow that tissue out again.
Like if they were to dig it out or it did break out or whatever,
exactly.
We need to create more circulation, more blood flow to that extremity to help heal that.
And then Equisalve, again, topically for those antibacterial properties to actually that tissue that was affected by that abscess.
That's it. Absolutely. So whether you're dealing with thrush, stone bruises, abscesses, we have a protocol that we can cater to the individual needs of your horse. And like Ashley mentioned, you know, we have lots of resources online. We have a horse quiz, a canine quiz that can cater that to you. But I don't think anything matches calling us and having a true conversation with you. You talk to thousands of horse owners every single year and can make sure that they get on the right product for the right issues so they see positive results. And like these protocols that we're talking about today, these are our standard protocols, but there's more that usually goes into it because you're going to ask them all sorts of different questions to make sure that you're understanding their needs and understanding their horse's needs so you can best help them out.
Yeah, I mean, again, when we talk about pieces of the puzzle, like things that are always going to come up are how long have you had your horse? Because is it something you just got out of a rescue pen that you have no history on? Because we're going to treat that differently than your 28-year-old horse that you've had since you foaled out at your house, right? Typical behavior for your horse. Knowing your horse is so important because I can talk to you all day long, but you're the one out in the pasture going out to feed in the barn and you see your horse every day. Is that something that's normal for them or is that something that's abnormal for them? Because I don't know those things. I can only make my best recommendations off the information that I get from my clients. And so really having all pieces of the puzzle to understand and like really get a grasp of what's going on with that individual horse is the best thing that we can do to provide the best protocol for that horse. That's
exactly it. So our team is here to help you out. We want the best for your horse. We want to empower you through education. So let us help you. And by doing that, just us knowing that horse has a better quality of life means so much to us. And we're so grateful for like all the good reviews that we have and emails and little notes that we receive because there's so many different scenarios where it's like, I'm at my wit's end. I didn't know what else to do. You know, I was told to put my horse down and these horses are thriving again. So like you said, like if we put all the pieces of the puzzle together, we can have really cool success stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think of all the clients that I've worked with from the beginning days of me working here that I still talk to, and they get a new horse or they have a different issue pop up and they want to call me and ask me what I think, you know, and equally as important, I want to know what they think, and your intuition is so important when it comes to your animals.
Absolutely it is. Well, I'm thankful that you guys joined us today. We hope this information helps your horses out. And again, if there is something that you need that we can help with, give us a call and we'll happy to share that information with you so you have healthier and happier horses. Thanks again.